Hey man, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how you can increase your EBS volume in your EC2 instances. So if you're new to my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Shupriya and this is how I structure my videos. I first, discuss about the topic and then show you the hands-on implementation of that topic. Okay, let's start with the video. So what is EBS volume and the advantages of it? Well, EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage Volume, and it's lock level storage device that can be associated with your EC2 instance. In simple words, it's the storage service that you see in your EC2 instances. Okay, then EBS volumes can be used as both primary storage and your secondary storage. So with that, like, the primary EBS volume also acts as a root volume, and it should be created and attached to the instance at the time of instance launch. For example, when you create your EC2 instances at the time of point when you add your storage, that storage is your EBS storage. So you cannot launch EC2 without having creating a new EBS volume. And this primary EBS volume cannot be detached from the instance, because that is your primary storage for that particular EC2 instances. And also the secondary volume can be attached, detached and modified at any time. So whatever the secondary volume you attach, you can detach and you can attach at any time. An instance can have one primary EBS volume and a number of secondary volumes. That means you can have only one root volume, and that is your primary EBS, and the n number of secondary volumes that you can attach. And at max you can attach only 16 terabytes of storage, EBS storage to be specific. And also the primary EBS volume can be only associated with one instances, and we can attach a single secondary EBS to multiple instances. Doesn't matter like where the region is, you can attach them, and provided they are the same availability zone actually. Okay. And now let's come to the types of EBS volumes. Well, there are specifically 4 types of EBS volumes, but I'll go through them. So the first one is general purpose SSD. Well, there's no particular order, but I just laid down them here. So one is general purpose SSD, which we know as a GP2, right? You probably never switch this, because this is the default one that comes with the EC2 instance. So what it does, it provides a balance of both price and performance, and is generally chosen by default, that I just said, right? And then the other one is provisioned IOPS SSD, or the short form is IO1, right? So it's the expensive one. Generally when you go to TC, M6 or C6 kind of based instances, you can see these kind of SSDs generally. So these are the some most expensive volume types that you can see, with the highest performance and well suited for tasks with heavy workloads. For example, the big corporates who uses these EC2s use these kind of SSDs. And then the third one is throughput optimized HDD. So this is just a kind of a storage service that is not suitable to run your OS, but it's more like a volume that provides optimization throughput, and generally used for large sequential workloads dealing with big data warehouse, where you keep your data just to be safe with like your EC2 instances. So these kind of situations where you use this throughput optimized HDD or ST1 kind of situation. And this is not a root device, you cannot use it as your primary storage device, right? Then you have cold HDD, which known as SC1. Okay, and it's also the least expensive of the volume types, and specifically designed for workloads which are accessed less frequently. For example, let's say you have something in your project that you might not use. For example, let's say there's a media company and who has some medias like 10 years before, so they're not going to use it, right? But it could be a documental, or it could be a governmental something, so they might need it in future. So these kind of situations, they use those data to store in this cold HDD or SC1 situations. And also these volumes also cannot be used as a root volumes for your EC2 instances. Keep in mind that. And those were there. And then next is advantages of using the EBS volumes. Well, The first one is high availability and flexibility. That's the reason AWS itself using this EBS volumes. And then the data can be kept persistently on a file system even after shutting down the instance, because you have the option to terminate. There's an option when you you can choose that if you want to terminate your instance, like when you that means when you want to delete your instance when you terminate. And if you check it, that means when you terminate your instance, the instance gets deleted directly, right? But if you don't enable that, that means even if you terminate your instances or even shut down, it stays there as you want, right? Then it enables you to have snapshots. So if you don't know about snapshots, so snapshot is just like a image, backup image that you take, or like when you're running your application. Let's say you are running your application and you've successfully uploaded your project and everything, and your production is working totally fine. Now you have the option to make a backup image that you can store for yourself, and whenever, let's say, there's something going wrong with your application, or maybe that could be anything wrong happening with your application, so you can just dump that out and create a new one with that backup image that you just created. So that's a snapshot in short terms, right? And then we have this snapshots enables us to create a volume and attach it to another instance if needed. That is what I just said right now. And also it can be resized at any time as when we record, but the resize means that we can only increase the size, we cannot decrease the size. Okay. And then it comes equipped with the encryption and the encryption address. What does that means? So it by default gives you the encryption, which is the general encryption for this, but you can customize according to your needs. Okay. So these were some of the advantages about AWS EBS volumes and the definitions of what it is. Now let's just see the actual implementation. Okay, this is AWS Management Console, and for that we need to create our EC2 instance first, right? So just head over to EC2 instance, create a new instance. Also, one more thing that I would like to say that, okay, but before that, I'm creating a Amazon Linux to AMI, right? This one. So I'll just select this one, and here choose an instance type. I'll choose EC2 micro, which is free, right? Garib hai hum. Okay, I'll just go next, configure instance. So if you're new to my channel, I'll suggest go watch my previous videos. I've already discussed about like what are the steps and what are the things. These are all so, and if you're already familiar with AWS, you might already know all these things. So I'll just straight away skip these things. So I'll just keep all the default settings, and I'll just go to next, add storage. Here is the thing. Remember, I was talking about primary and secondary devices and root volumes. So this root is basically a primary device, and check this path, it says dev xvda. Okay, and I'm not adding any extra volume or whatever, but this is your actual EBS. Okay, so this add storage, this is what your EBS. See, you can attach additional EBS volume and instances store volumes to your instances. So this is where the EBS lies in your Amazon AWS console inside your EC2 setup, right? And many people have this misconception that EBS is just a service apart from AWS EC2, but it's not. Yeah, it's a service, but it is integrated inside your EC2 setup, right? So I'll just next and add tags. I'll just add a tag for my own safety so that I don't forget it, and I'll just say YouTube purpose. Okay, purpose. Okay, and now next, configure the security group, and you can select your existing security group if you have one. But I'll say, right, that if you are familiar and having already working with AWS and maybe learning for the first time to work with a company or whatever, and you will generally have your EC2 already set up for you, so you will not have to create one for you. So what you'll have to do, you'll have to modify the current existing EBS volume, but which I will show you after this setup. So I'll just create a new security group, and I can set a security group, let's say YouTube video. Okay, and the description is subscribe. Okay. So I'll just give the only SSH permission because I don't want to access it from anywhere else. So I just hit review and launch, right? And these are the settings. I'll just I think you cannot see, yeah, maybe you can see right now. So I'll just hit launch, and here's the thing, I'll just download a new key pair. I'll call it YouTube, you know, EBS whatever, and download the, remember like if you're not using any key pair, you will not be able to launch, you know, instances. So first you'll have to download a key pair, right? And then you can launch it. So just wait for it to launch. Yep, the instance is ready, I hope. Yes, it's in pending state, but it will soon be launched. But before that, I want to show you something that, let me just make it small. Yeah, so one thing over here that you need to notice, that these are all the details, right? But if you go to your storage section, and then you can see the volume ID, this is the actual EBS volume ID, right? And as I already discussed about this thing, and you see attachment status, it's attaching right now. The EBS is getting created for you, and then it's getting attached to your EC2 machine, which is not, you know, ready yet. So I'll just hit refresh, and this should be done. Let's just check once. And if I go to storage, and yep, it is attached, right? So what you'll have to do to, you know, increase or modify your EBS volume, so go to this volume ID, right? Because this is your EBS volume, and you see this is where you can see all your EBS status and all that stuff for your volume. So the type that I'm using is GP2, right? And what is the, you know, snapshot? This is this is the snapshot, right? We don't need to go into, you know, integrity of this thing, but that's there for a reason, not for this video. So what I'll do, I'll create I'll just go to this action and modify the volume. This is where you can actually modify. That means you can only increase your size, right? So now, oh, by the way, if you try to decrease it, you will get an error, right? So the volume type, it's GP2. Remember, I was describing the different types of volumes. So these are the different types of volumes. Okay. Yeah, so one is general purpose SSD, the other one is general purpose SSD GP3, then the IOPS SSD IO2, and this is the IO2, and this is IO1. So magnetic. And by the way, if you skip that part, if you can go watch, and then you will understand what are these different types. Okay, so now, you know, right now the volume is 8, right? So I'll just make it 20. Okay, because I don't want to get any extra bill right now. Okay, I'll just click modify. What it's saying, are you sure you want to modify this volume, right? It may take some time to perform that action. You may need to extend the OS file. Okay, remember this thing, what it's saying, you may need to extend the OS file on the volume to use any newly allocated space. What that means, right now I am actually modifying it and increasing the volume from 8 GB to 20 gigabytes, right? So if I just hit yes, it will modify this size, but it will not be affected in your actual machine. So for that, you'll have to access the machine and then do some changes. I'll show you that right now. Okay, awesome. So right now you can see the size is 8 GB. Let me just refresh this, and there you go. Yep, this, you see, 20 GB, right? So now is the fun part, right? Go to the instance section. You see this is your instance ID, and this is your public domain and all that stuff, but we care only for this public IPv4 address, right? So here's the thing, what you need to do, we just downloaded our key PEM file, right? Remember when we are launching that. So what we need to do is, you know, open, if you are using, you know, Windows, which I'm right now using, so just open your Putigen, So this is your putty key generator, and what you need to do, you need to load an existing private key file, right? So what is this private key file? This is the actual PEM file that you just downloaded from your AWS console, right, while creating that EC2 instances. And click on load, and load that PEM file over here. So after loading that, you'll see this notice which says that successfully imported that foreign key, right? And what you need to do right now, you need to click on save private key. This will save your private key, right? And I'll just say this, that attitude, right? And save it. You can save it anywhere. I'm saving it in my downloads location, right? And after that, what you need to do, you need to come over to this putty configuration, right? You need to host and provide the host name or the IP address where you can get this public IPv4 address. Just copy this thing and paste this over here, and now go to SSH under auth, and then you see at the bottom it says private key file for authentication. Just hit browse and select that private key that you just saved from your putty generation key file and hit open. Okay, and this will say that this will just give you a security alert, and you'll have to accept it. Okay, accept that. And here's the thing, if you're using any Amazon Linux machine, then the user is EC2 user, right? And if you're using Ubuntu, then it's Ubuntu, and if you are using OpenVPN AMI or something, it's root, right? But check like what or which particular machine your organization or you are actually using it. Yeah, and then according to that specific instance, provide your username, and this will connect to your EC2 instance. And if I hit enter, it will get connected, right? And you see that it is getting connected. And if I can zoom, nope, I cannot zoom, my bad. Okay, anyways, so here's the thing, what we need to do in this section right now, we need to go to our root of this EC2. So for that, just hit sudo su and hit enter. This will go to your root, and now hit this command df space h dash h. Okay, what this will do, this will show all of your mounted volumes and all that stuff. Remember, I was saying the volume mountation, this is where the mount is happening. You see dev xvda1, this is, and you see currently it's 8 GB. Okay, and what we need to do right now, just do lsblk. Okay, and hit enter. And here's the thing, you see this xvda has 20 GB and the xvda has 8 GB. So this is your upgraded storage, but you did nothing to it right now, so we need to modify that and make the partition to it. Okay, so now what you need to do, you need to enter this command grow part space dev space xvda1. Okay, and by the way, it give a space most probably, yes, and then hit enter. Okay, now see this changed, partition 1 start from 4096 and the old size was this, and this is the new size right now, right? And now what you need to do, now enter this command again, lsblk space -f. Okay, what this will do, this will show you the mount point. Okay, this is your actual mount point, and this is the FS type. So what is FS type? If you don't know about Linux file system and all that stuff, FS is just a file system, and this is XFS. This is our file system that is used by Amazon machine Linux right now. Okay, in this particular machine, you might have xt4, you might have xt3, you might have something else, we don't know, right? But depending upon that, you will have to make the modifications. So as you can see, it's XFS. What we need to do right now, we have to make this command resize, okay, to FS. Okay, by the way, one more thing, this resize to FS space dev slash xvda1, this command, if you are I'll just show you what are the commands that you may need or might need. Okay, So if you are using xt4, then this is the command that you should go for. If you are using this is the, by the way, not only for this is for xt4, xt3, xt2. Okay, and if you are having this xfs like mine, what you need to do, you need to just remove this thing and hit xfs underscore grow fs space dev slash xvda1. okay, and what this will do, this will actually increase that 8 GB volume to 20 GB volume. Okay, hit enter and this is done, right? And you can see all the details over here, and what this says that data blocks changed from this amount to this amount. That means it is successfully changed, right? Awesome. Now what you need to do, you need to check that if it is successfully happened or not. For that, again hit that command dfs space h, and you can see right now that it's 20 GB. okay, this portion. Okay, awesome. So yeah, and if you have successfully did that, great, congratulations, you have successfully increased your volume to your EBS volume. And this is the actual process, guys. Like if you want to change something, this is the actual process that you should go with. And yeah, this is what it is. So I hope you like this video, and if you did, please let me know and subscribe that, so that I can make more videos, because making these kind of EC2s cost money, right? So yeah, if you want to help me support that by liking, subscribing, and help me hack this YouTube algorithm. Okay, peace out, bye.